Jon Beinart, welcome to Left Brain, Right Brain podcast. Just trying to take in where we are right now. We're in your studio, basically, your house.
Yeah, this is just upstairs from the gallery. Yeah,
Awesome.
Where we kind of keep inventory, and I live here as well.
And I was noticing over there you have the toddler pillars, the toddler pillar retrospective that you're doing right now. Or was that a few months ago?
A while back. At the end of last year, that was like the toddler pillars is a whole. It's a whole thing. It's like
because they used to be quite different, right? Like these are like ceramic sculptures based on what they used to look like, which were plastic, like baby dolls.
So
right?
I guess before I had an art gallery, I was more of an artist, or I had more time and I made more art.
Yeah,
and I made these kind of monstrosities, like these kind of assemblage doll sculptures that were kind of insectoid and kind of like caterpillars or centipedes.
Yeah.
And they were the original toddler pillars. And then they evolved into this kind of digital project, which involved a lot of people. And then it sort of evolved into a graphic novel, which is still being developed.
A graphic novel on toddler pillars.
Yeah, there's a whole world.
That's crazy. There's a lot to it.
Collaborative project between. It's called Toddler Pillar Apocalypse.
Oh wow!
It's a project with Tim Malloy, who's he's a graphic novelist, and also Christopher Ulrich, and it's in development. And then we made toys, and they were customized by hundreds of artists, and we're sort of developing a new toy, which is like this kind of modular toddler pillar / chimera pillar hybrid toy.
Wow.
Where you'll be able to make your own creatures. It's like Lego.
Isn't that wild that it went full circle from actually being a toy?
Yeah.
That you like disassembled into art. Now it's a toy.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. I don't really see it as my own art project anymore. It's sort of it's almost become, it's a collaborative thing, and it's kind of like more like a brand, I guess.
Yeah. Which I guess explains this, because these are all different takes, right?
They're all different artists. Yeah.
Different artists. Cool. Is the mother of all toddler pillars, that's gone, isn't it? The big giant one.
Yeah, I used to destroy each one to make the next one.
Really?
Yeah.
True.
Just because I didn't have enough doll parts.
And when you say destroy, do you mean like disassemble, or like was it like a ceremonic?
Yeah, pull them all apart. No, I didn't set any on fire, I don't think.
There is that artist, Jon Beinart, who like destroyed his like 20 years of work, and we just set it ablaze, basically.
Okay. Well, they're plastic, so that would be pretty toxic.
That would be pretty toxic with the material.
But I'm not opposed to burning works on paper,
Yeah. I saw as well that the like Saturday Night Live, they used, without your consent, the toddler pillar.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess the thing is the toddler pillar thing used to go viral a lot before it turned into all
I've seen heaps of them before as well.
So, and it was published a lot in magazines like, FHM, Maxim, this magazine called Bazaar.
Yeah.
It used to kind of do the rounds a lot and kind of it used to get incorporated into memes without any credit to the artist. It was just
which is what happens all the time.
It was a weird image.
Well.
I had kind of let go of it at some point.
Yeah.
And I guess the final straw of that was Saturday Night Live doing their own take without obviously mentioning me, and that's what happens. Yeah.
Was there anything that you could do in regards to that? Because I saw it as well. I'm like, this is literally.
I mean, I got annoyed for a second, and I made a post on Instagram.
Yeah.
And then everyone rage posted, and then it was over.
Were you a fan of SNL beforehand?
I don't really watch it, but I've seen some funny things on it, and I don't hold them responsible. It's just like that's the way. Apparently, that's the way. These shows are. It's not like they just kind of get inspired by shit on the internet and then they just run with it.
It's not like a personal thing where like someone has it.
And they changed it. Like, I think they made it shit, but
yeah, it didn't look as good as your ones.
I would have been uncomfortable if my name was on it.
Yeah.
In fact, people were contacting me and saying, "Oh, you're working with and I was really uncomfortable with that. I would prefer it to be not associated with
because
me.
Even though it's not a part of like your own, like you said, it's like a bigger thing than just you. It's still something that you started. You know what I mean?
That was before it turned into a bigger thing than me. Yeah.
Right. And so the toddler pillar exists as an NFT now, the giant one. I think
there was an NFT release. Like I kind of got involved with all that. I did this kind of. I guess it was like a fundraising digital collectible drop during that frenzy. You know, which did quite well, and that's what paid for all of that. So
we're just still another part of like a whole package, basically.
We're still doing. I guess the NFT project is what launched everything that's happening now.
I think the NFT thing was like a thing that like lasted. I mean, in terms of being popular, it was like a 3-month, 4-month craze.
It's kind of heating up again, but I just find, I guess for me, I went into it naively thinking that people cared about art in that space,
and it's just tech people. Right?
It's just people gambling, and they say, "Oh, the art's amazing," but then if the price goes down, the art's no longer amazing. And
so
it's like,
whereas it based on the like economy of it.
I'm used to a space where people just love art, and you know, they're not just like thinking about the value of it from moment to moment. So
and there's no real kind of, do you feel like there's like an overlap with that into the fine arts world as well? When paintings sell for like, you know, quite a lot of cash as well. Like is there...
when you're talking about like high end, like
and stuff like
blue chip art, like people are investing big bucks, then that's my chihuahua. Hey, Peach.
Aaron's losing it right now. I'm pretty sure he's soiled himself.
You're not allowed to move. So I think that, okay, maybe should I stop there?
Nah, keep going.
Yeah, I wouldn't look at her. Hey, come here. Come here. Come on. Shh.
Whatever you do, just don't look at the
don't look at the dogs. At the animal.
For those who can't see what's happening.
I think that when you're talking about the blue chip art world, where it's like people investing big bucks, it's kind of maybe a little more like that.
Yeah.
Only there's probably more fundamentals, like, you know, you're talking about like people buying something like Picasso, which will hold its value over
for sure. People
a long
who have
period of
studied
time.
it, you know, people from a fine arts background.
But then there would be like newer emerging blue chip artists where like a bunch of, it's kind of similar, like where it's almost like the art cartel or influential people get behind it and say, this is worth money. The rich people buy in, it goes up, and then they sell it and it dumps. So that world does exist. But that's not the art world that I engage
No, do you
with.
try to stay away from that kind of circle?
Well, I guess the art that I show, the people who like it usually like it because of the content or the imagery, the level of detail, and you know, just I show art that sort of is very accessible, you know, like kind of surreal, figurative, imaginative work that people who, you know, I don't think the kind of art that I show that is taken that seriously in the blue chip world, you know.
Would you say that the kind of art that you make comes from like a figurative standpoint?
It's kind of where figurative and realism meets surrealism in a way, and almost like imaginary realism. I don't know. There's so many, and pop surrealism, so many genres that come together. That it's not really easily defined.
But it's quite different to like the conceptual and abstract kind of world of art as well.
Yeah, it's almost like a lot of the people in the space that, you know, the kind of artists that I show at the gallery, the kind of people who collect this art are almost like, you know, repelled from the larger art world towards this, because and they're really passionate about this.
It's almost like a refuge, right? Away from all that.
Yeah, it's like
sanctuary.
It's like you know, when you think about conceptual art, that was like a rebellion from figurative art originally.
Yeah.
And now there's people now rebelling
against that.
Yeah, and going, why can't we go back to things that look like something where someone spent a bit of, you know, time actually developing their skill, and, you know.
Yeah, because you had a website before this. You still have a website, right?
Yeah, so before I had a gallery, there was in 2003.
Yeah.
There was, you know, I had a website just featuring my own art, and I was, I guess, a surreal figurative artist. You know, I did like underground comic style stuff at the time.
Yeah.
My stuff's developed a fair bit since then, but and then I started hosting smaller pages on my website, like as I was finding and connecting with other, you know, sort of surreal and underground artists who were doing similar kind of work, you know, imaginative kind of fairly detailed work within Australia. And then I kind of, then I sort of flipped it and called it instead of it's, you know, Jon Beinart's gallery with guest galleries, I just called it the Underground Australian Art Collective.
Yeah, right.
And then I sort of, at some stage, I opened it up and called it the International Surreal Art Collective, and started publishing art books. And it was quite a big sort of popular website at some point. Like it sort of became, it was early social media, so there wasn't a place where you could find a lot of this stuff.
So it was kind of like the place, the archive.
It was for a period, and we had one of these, those old forums. Like, we had a forum before social media was where everyone was.
So you were way ahead of your time.
It just kind of happened.
Yeah. Cool. And that kind of rebellion against like conceptual abstract art, I read somewhere, I think it was your website, so I'm not going to misquote it.
I have no idea what you read.
Little dog sitting on my notes, so we're going free form right now. I'm not going to look at my notes. But basically, I read somewhere where it said that like artists at the time weren't getting support from like their art schools, basically. They were all being told to paint in a certain way. And it was more of like a conceptual abstract at the time. I think
that was probably my bio or something.
I think
that was kind of what motivated me to find a community of people who were passionate about the same kind of art that I was.
Did you go to art school?
No. I tried various institutions for very short stints, and
it didn't work.
I was just discouraged from doing what I wanted to do, and I was very stubborn.
It tends to be like a pretty like common response though for a lot of artists that want to do something different. Which is strange that in art, that's the way, but it's being taught, right? Like instead of opening people's mind, you're set to follow a curriculum. It can turn off a lot of people. I think it works with certain personalities. Yeah. It didn't work with me. Like I'm a fine arts like dropout, basically. Okay. Yeah. Well, I transferred to film, basically. But yeah, I also found that as well. Like if you wanted to do a certain style, it just wouldn't work.
I mean, they want you to loosen up and get more abstract and more conceptual and,
I saw people get like grilled. Like I actually saw somebody like get basically roasted by the teacher in front of all the peers. It was like something out of like, Battle Royale or like the Hunger Games or something like that. It was like one person being told that their art was like objectively bad. And I think actually they still do art. So props to them for not allowing that to discourage them. Yeah. And that was like a really, really like big problem at the time. And that was like the moment I was like, oh, that's not for me, basically.
Yeah, I guess I'm just really... I just love imagery and, surrealism. And I love, I guess, the kind of artwork where you can appreciate it like the moment that you see it. It's just like that's a cool image. Right? And then over time, it's like you discover new things in the image. It's almost like kind of like picture books or,
like automatic drawing, right? As well. Like in the sense that you make it without thinking about it first.
Well, that's kind of my process in a sense, but I guess I just love art that you can see on site. There's people have put a lot of love and time into it, and there's sort of like instantly recognizable something in there that you can relate to. That's and you don't have to read, an essay to figure out what it's about.
So you think it's like a easier kind of entry point, basically. So anyone of all ages can just enjoy it without having that background.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people think that art is the other thing because that's what they've been taught and that's what's in a lot of museums and whatnot. But this kind of art still, and a lot of people love like really old art, like kind of medieval art and historical art where people did paint actual pictures, although it was, almost always religious. And now there's like, I guess, a movement of people who have returned to that, but it's no longer religious. It's kind of personal, which I think is really cool.
So taking that kind of style, the like Renaissance style, and like bringing it to a modern time.
In a sense, yeah. Cool. And also influenced by a million other things like surrealism and whatever else. Yeah,
for sure. That's awesome. And was your family supportive of you becoming an artist when you started off?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, there was never any discouragement. I don't know. I guess I was a bit troubled when I was young, so they were just happy if I was doing anything that wasn't bad.
And so you went straight from school to just like, were you already making art when
I
you were in
didn't
school?
Finish school. I just did this from the beginning, I guess. The dog's snoring.
No, I think he's enjoying my scratches.
Yeah.
Let's stop that.
I don't know. I just kind of, what am I trying to say? They just like me to keep occupied. I don't think they thought that it would turn into anything necessarily. Yeah. Like, I think, like, for instance, when I said that I wanted to open a gallery, I think they thought I was making a terrible decision.
Yeah, well, most people kind of think
because it's risky and it's business and all of this stuff. But I guess the thing is, the gallery only happened like 8 years ago.
Okay, so it's a relatively
8
recent
or 9
thing.
years ago. Yeah. Before that, I was publishing books and curating in other people's spaces and doing the online thing. But because I'd been at it since 2003 and I'd built such a large community online of people who are really obsessed with the same thing that I was obsessed with.
Yeah.
And we had the mailing list and there's, you know, social media presence and whatever else. And I guess I had fairly close relationships with certain relatively high profile artists within that space.
Yeah.
And had, since they weren't that well known, so there was a lot of goodwill.
So you already had that good rapport.
I just really felt that this could work.
Yeah. And those people that you knew back then, are they, you know, thriving now as well? Is it all part of a scene, the same scene that it was back then?
Some of them are, yeah. I mean, it's always changing, yeah.
Cool. And in terms of, I guess, Australia, like if you could go anywhere else to, I guess, start a studio, would you go anywhere else?
Well, this kind of gallery that I've got is really much more similar to a gallery you'd see in Los Angeles.
For sure.
You wouldn't really, I mean, there's
not many places like this, hey?
Not in Australia.
I can't think of actually any other places.
But I was very passionate about bringing this to Australia.
Yeah.
And also helping Australian artists who are doing this kind of work to be seen by an international audience, before I had the space here, I was curating shows in, you know, in Santa Monica and New York, in other galleries, and I was publishing, you know, books for like Chris Cooksey, Laurie Lipton, Chet Sarr, and a whole lot of artists. So I guess we had the international eyes on us. So I haven't really mentioned this gallery was crowdfunded in the beginning.
Really?
Yeah. So the
gallery was that's insane.
So it started. The whole thing was fairly accidental. Like I didn't really have the clear plan that this would be a gallery. It was more like we had the International Surreal Art Collective. I launched a Kickstarter to basically save the International Surreal Art Collective. Because the publishing projects, the books were no longer sustaining. Well, it wasn't really financially viable after a lot of our distributors went out of business.
Really?
Amazon
what year was that?
Like it was almost like a fallout from the global financial crisis. Like over time, the distributors went out of business. The main booksellers went out of business. Amazon was killing it all. Taschen was making books really cheap. So it was kind of like books were no longer... Like most small publishers were going out of business. It wasn't really a good way to make money. So the artists all kind of rallied behind this Save the Beinart International Surreal Art Collective thing, you know, donated, rewards for people who supported it. And there was a lot of people who were sort of following us who supported it. And we sort of asked for a certain amount of money to continue for the next 5 years, basically. And that came in within 24 hours.
Really?
So then my ex-wife, still good friend, said, like, why don't we, announce a stretch goal? Well, I knew we needed to announce a stretch goal because that's how these things work. And she said, why don't we do like a pop-up gallery space? It was just, maybe a short-term thing. And we did that and it worked out. And then it became not a pop-up. It was just, it worked. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And what kind of rewards were you giving out to people at that time? Like drawings, artworks?
There were the books that we'd published.
Cool.
There were, drawings, prints. There were so many. And they were, generously donated by so many artists who then promoted it. So this thing kind of, gained a bit.
Kind of evolved organically.
Well, I guess because there were so many artists sort of promoting it and there were so many desirable artworks in it, very grateful for that.
Yeah.
A lot of their fans got on board and maybe they weren't supporting the Beinart Collective. Maybe they just wanted an affordable artwork, or whatever.
Either way though, right? Like
it worked
still
out,
worked. I'm trying to think of any example of like something similar to that in the art world, like here locally. I can't think of like a crowdfunded gallery.
No.
Right? I can think of a crowdfunded, like the Tote. The whole Save the Totes movement was kind of like that.
That was cool, yeah.
For punk rock.
Yeah.
But I can't think of anything else like that. It really does show, like, I guess how many people are out there who are interested in, like, figurative, like fantasy kind of works as well.
Yeah, yeah. It's people who love it are really passionate.
Yeah. Are there, I'm trying to think as well, like, are you a member of any like collectives outside of your own?
I guess I don't even regard I guess it evolved into a commercial gallery at that point.
Right.
So I don't know if it's a collective anymore. Well, it isn't. It's a community.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
it's hard to define those two things, right? As well, like when does one stop and the other begin?
I don't know what it is actually.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, I guess it's a bit different. I don't know if I'm answering your question because I've forgotten.
It doesn't really matter.
But I guess it's a bit different to a lot of galleries in that I think that my relationship with a lot of the artists is more like a friendship.
Yeah.
More like I didn't come from a business background. I didn't come from wealth like, a lot of gallerists. It's like I came, like I've known so many of them for, decades.
Sure.
Through all of these projects, and I'm just seeing it. I guess I've got a relationship, like I'm one of the artists in this space.
Yeah.
And I guess in that sense, it's more of a community. But I'm also a commercial gallery art director. But it's like it's sort of the relationship dynamic is a little
formal,
different.
I would say.
Yeah, I'm friends with a lot of the artists, basically.
Yeah. That's cool, and that also gains their trust basically as well. Because I feel like a lot of artists are quite skeptical with gallery spaces.
And I think because it evolved from something where I had been promoting a lot of these artists' work for just out of passion, because I wasn't making money from whatever it was. I'd created a platform online where I was promoting their art. There's a lot of goodwill in there.
For sure.
Yeah.
Do you find that Melbourne is the art capital of Australia?
I have no idea. I feel like I'm in a little bubble, I feel like in a sense, well, I think it might be the live music capital.
They say that. And actually, I'd probably agree with them.
I don't know. Like I'm not connected.
Have you seen
I'm not connected to the Australian art world.
No, you haven't made any trips to Sydney? Checked it out, seen what's up?
I was born in Sydney.
Oh, so you have checked it out and seen what's up?
Well, I don't know. I guess I haven't seen much that interests me out there in Australia, so I haven't really engaged that much with it. Although I do like some of the street art sort of galleries show some really cool art.
Yeah.
And I like Outre. I think
Outre's great.
They show some great art, and we show some of the same artists too.
Cool.
So although we're probably a little bit darker, and they're a little bit more like maybe a bit more in the pop surreal kind of and sort of design sort of space.
Yeah.
Potentially, I don't know. I don't want to categorize them, but
yeah, for sure, we'll have to interview them.
We're just a bit different. Like I think a lot of the art that we show is probably a little darker.
Darker. And in terms of the themes that you kind of show, when you say like darker, what kind of themes do you show in your gallery?
It's definitely. I feel like when we first start, so I'm probably personally more. Well, at least I was. I've changed a little bit over this 8-9 years as well.
Yeah.
I was much more into much darker work and less into sort of, I guess, stuff that's a bit more whimsical and cute and whatever else.
So it started off a lot more like hardcore.
It was a bit more hardcore, but I learned very quickly that if that was the sole identity of the gallery, we wouldn't survive.
Really? So you had to kind of be like, okay, what do we do?
I adapted and started showing, artists that are probably much broader than my I would say they were still within the range of my personal taste, but they weren't my favorites. They weren't necessarily things that I collect. But then my taste evolved with that as well.
Right.
And my taste became less dark. Still a bit dark,
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on who's looking.
And whose definition is.
Yeah. It's really hard for me to say because I don't find most things dark, but some people think that, like, my sister would find all of this horrific.
Yeah. That's you haven't been able to convince her yet.
Well, one of my sisters, yeah.
Okay.
I won't go into that, but
no family matters on the show. No, because I'm looking at like even like these ones here, and I'm like, if you showed it to, if I showed it to my dad, you know what I mean? He'd be like, that's twisted. But I'm obviously more open-minded. To art,
but then you'll see if you look around. Like, I mean, Shaun Tan. Well, he's a little dark, but he's very, very accessible and very popular, and he does a lot of stuff that isn't dark as well.
Yeah.
But there's a dark edge to it. But then there's some pretty beautiful, cutesy. Oh, maybe not in this room.
Well, dark can be beautiful too.
I think so. I personally think so. But I guess what I'm saying, I'm just sort of going on so many tangents. What I'm saying is when I started, I showed only stuff that I really, really wanted to show.
Yeah.
And then the market taught me that wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
And there was an adaptation, but then my tastes adapted as well as I opened my mind.
Which is cool. And I don't know if that's like a unique thing or not, because I know people can appreciate other artworks, you know what I mean? Or appreciate other music styles that they don't necessarily listen to all the time. But to actually enjoy them is a step beyond, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it was still within the realm of what I loved. It was still surreal, imaginative, weird, whatever. But it was just less horrible.
Yeah. That piece up there actually.
Less macabre, you know?
Yeah, the piece with the crow reminds me of the one of the more like expensive ones in the NGV with the crows around the sheep.
Oh, that's my favorite piece in the NGV.
Really?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible. Every time I go there.
What does it say under it? There's a word.
Don't touch, I'm pretty sure. That's
grief. I think it says grief.
Oh, it's grief. Same thing, right?
I love that piece, yeah.
Yeah. No, that piece, do you know which artist made that one up there?
Shaun Tan. Yeah.
That's a Shaun Tan one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know Jodie's like on that shit.
Sorry, I'm a fan.
Yeah, Jodie's
so
super
Shaun's probably he's definitely our most famous Australian artist that we show.
Yeah.
We do show some fairly well-known international artists, but he's like we're very lucky to have Shaun. Like he's
one of like the
done
larger
incredible
artists,
things for our gallery. You know,
For
he
sure.
also, and there are, once we had Shaun Tan in you know, we host fairly frequent shows, solo shows with Shaun Tan. Like we're his main gallery. We're like his limited edition print outlet.
Cool.
We have like once we had I feel like there were other artists who took us more seriously when we had Shaun Tan, so that was really helpful. You know?
Yeah,
and he's
sure.
just the best human in the world.
And do you remember the first time that you like came into contact with him?
Yeah, so that contact didn't come from way back, you know? Because
really?
Way back I was sort of making contact with more international people. I guess what I was doing was more USA and Europe sort of focused.
Cool.
But once we had a gallery, one day I just saw him outside of the gallery.
Just
and
by
I was
chance.
like, and I don't know, I feel like I probably like, you know, I tried not to overwhelm him, but
Yeah.
I was
you
a
were
fan.
already like a big fan, basically.
I was a big fan, and I think he was with an artist that I knew, and I think I just introduced myself. But then I asked that artist later if they could, you know, give me his personal email.
Oh wow!
I don't know how that happened. I hope I did that in a way that was okay. But
Yeah.
it worked out.
Well, his
And-
pieces are here, so I'm sure that was the case.
And then I invited him to a group show. That worked out quite well. And then invited him to a solo, and it just kind of grew. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome though. Like it wasn't even a planned thing. He was just out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
he lives in Brunswick, so
True. And you would have already been like a big fan of his because you would have known what he looks like.
I've been a fan of his since I was quite young. Yeah.
Cool. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
And
definitely.
then later on, and I think this was also probably because we had Shaun, we, you know, wait, I'm just going to have
water first, question second. I still haven't hit my water to the. No, I want my water actually.
So I guess because of our history, I've had, you know, I guess we've been fairly well known with some of the bigger names within the international art scene.
Yeah.
And they've been showing with us for a long time, and that's been, you know, it's been fairly easy to be, I guess, accepted within that space and regarded as a place that they want to show.
For sure.
Whereas after we started showing Shaun, then, you know, we became more appealing to other Australian people who were sort of better known.
Right.
And, you know, like we recently hosted a retrospective for Graham Bass, who did Animalia. And we're doing another show for him at some point as well.
Cool.
And we just hosted a show for Adam Elliott, who,
Oh yeah.
you know, the filmmaker who did,
Yeah.
you know, Mary and Max and
Sure.
Harvey Crumpet, and he's got a new film right now.
I didn't even know.
Memoirs
yeah.
of a Snail.
Good shit.
It's great, man.
No, he's watched
So that was his
you got
first.
two fucking. Why don't you watch anything, Sam?
So Adam's like that was his first art exhibition in our gallery just a month or so ago. So it's our Australian thing has
He's
been
so
growing.
iconic. It's like a piece of like Australiana.
Which one?
Like the Harvey Crumpet guy. I really
Yeah.
should know his name. Like
Adam Elliott. Yeah.
Adam Elliott. Like just, you know, that is for me. Like you think of Australia, you think of that clay thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So we show a lot of Australians, but I guess over time, we've started getting a few of but they're not like really high profile in the blue chip Australian art world.
Yeah.
They're they're very well known. Like Adam Elliott and Shaun Tan are both Academy Award winners, but that's for animation.
In the film world.
And Shaun's celebrated in the book, in the graphic novel, the book, the picture book world. You know, he's won loads of awards. Graham Bass is like, you know, also in the picture book space. So they're not really, in a sense, they're also outside of the art world.
Isn't that so interesting though, that like Australia has these like ways to divide mediums like that?
Yeah.
Like these guys are like excelling in their fields, and they've literally won an Academy Award. Like they've got international recognition as well.
But it's not.
But the NGV or.
But is it fine art?
But is it fine art? Because do they ever?
And of course it is.
Of course, but do they ever exhibit in like these big places? Like we've got the NGV. Do they ever?
Well, the thing is, these people I'm talking about, they show in museums and national libraries. National libraries buy a lot of their works.
Yeah.
But they don't show in the blue chip art galleries. No.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
so it's a different, and they probably rarely show in the national galleries too. They're more like, because they're celebrated for different things, they're in the spaces, the official spaces that celebrate those things. Yeah.
That's so interesting though, because I'm trying to think, because I went to the NGV recently. I'm trying to think of what I actually saw there. I can't. I'm going there tomorrow. Grief. I saw grief, but I always see grief when I go there. What did I see there?
Yeah.
That was the last major.
Nah, I don't have money to go see like the actual exhibits. I go to the free ones.
Yeah.
You go up to the 3 floors.
So you probably saw the same ones over and over.
I always go there to see like the Bacons and the Rothkos and that kind of stuff. And sometimes they had a Salvador Dali couch that he actually made, like a big giant lip couch that you could just sit on. I thought that's
cool.
Excellent.
I remember seeing a Salvador Dali show there at some point a long time ago.
And then they got the Yayoi Kusama show, which I'm going to go to tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which will be crazy. But yeah, I'm trying to think of like what Australian artists and if those places support Australian artists. Because it's all a lot of international retrospectives. And a lot of the times it's people who have already passed, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really disengaged.
Which is wild, you know, like that there's still that
I'm
level because you're
I'm
operating
connected
at such a high level here.
There's a world that I'm connected to that isn't really that. Yeah. And I should look more. And I have at times educated myself on what's going on, but recently I've just been, I don't know, when you're running a business too, you're just kind of like, you know, focused.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm focused on a particular niche and I love it, and I just forget about the rest of the world.
For sure.
Yeah. But I guess I've emphasized these high profile artists, but it's very, very important to me and for my business to constantly seek out and show emerging artists. And that's probably one of the most important things, you know. I mean, I guess to help build artists' careers from the beginning is where it's at, you know.
So in regards to doing that, where do you go? Where do you start? Like,
well, I guess Instagram
is the place.
I guess so. Yeah, it's become the place. But also just looking at other galleries, and also they just kind of turn up. They send work and they submit and you meet them in the community and people recommend them and it just kind of happens.
So a lot of it is like organic interaction as well.
Yeah.
Just going out there, actually like showcasing your work.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, and I think what happens is, you know, a lot of artists that say we started showing in their early career when we first started, you know, their careers grow and sometimes they outgrow a gallery and they end up in a higher, at a higher level, or just they end up with a gallery who doesn't want them to show in another gallery, or they end up with some kind of exclusivity.
That's like a real common like practice as well.
Or they might even end up in a gallery that's like sort of borderline blue chip, still not quite, but has like in America, there's a lot of galleries that have like celebrity buyers, you know, because they're in Los Angeles and they're obviously. I'm not going to mention what the galleries are, but they know the wealthy people.
Can you mention what the celebrities are?
It doesn't matter, but they know the wealthiest people. So what they do is they start showing, and this is within the space that shows this kind of art.
Yeah,
because a lot of celebrities love this kind of art.
For sure.
And a lot of people in Hollywood love the weird imagery and the horrific imagery and whatever else.
Yeah.
And what they do is they like double, triple, quadruple their prices over a short period of time. And then it's like, it's really hard to sell their work then after that point. It's almost like, this is going to be a bit controversial, but it feels like a bit of a pump and dump, you know? Almost back to the NFT conversations. Because like, I mean, some artists survive it and they're then in a different bracket.
Yeah.
A lot of artists don't survive it and the prices are doubled, tripled over too short a period of time. Because I think artists' prices do need to go up, but you need to do it gradually. And they're given this advice, and the rich people have had their fill. They've all got a few of whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever's works, whoever that is, and then their market just dries up. And unfortunately, we've had a lot of artists over time that we've shown who have, you know, I guess it's very enticing to, because the thing is, artists are often selling their work for less than, you know, their time might be worth. But they're building up towards that state. But if you go too fast,
you don't really know where you stand,
you can't then lower your price afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's really, you know, optically
that's
really
so
bad.
wild though. Like you can have this rapport with somebody and then suddenly they go show, you know, a show in LA and then like Shaun Tan or something like buys their artwork for like 3 times the price. And then suddenly that rapport changes, right?
Well, like, no, the relationship's still good. It's fine. I'm still, there's a lot of goodwill there, but it's like their price point is no longer at a place where we can reasonably, you know, we're not a viable gallery for them anymore at that point. And sometimes, unfortunately, their whole career kind of can dry up at that point. You know, so this can happen, and there's a bit of a cycle. So, you know, it's really important to find new artists and sort of build them up gradually. And hopefully that won't happen to them. And they, you know, they'll sort of, I guess, resist the urge to increase their prices too rapidly. Because I think everyone can reach that point that they want to reach, but maybe it takes a bit more time.
In terms of like, there's no like linear, like set duration for how long that, like the artist's journey in that regard, right?
Well, I think the problem is if you double or triple your prices within a few years, then you lose your early collectors. Whereas if you increase it by say 10 to 15% a year, that kind of compounds and becomes quite a lot.
Sure.
But you can carry your early supporters with you, you know, like they won't overnight just see, I can't afford this person's work anymore.
Oh yeah. Suddenly they can't be a fan anymore. They'll continue
supporting and collecting, and they'll even feel very positive about the fact that what they purchased in the past has appreciated.
For sure.
So it's a very different thing. Whereas I guess some of these galleries are trying to fast track that process and put them in a different bracket, and it only works sometimes. Yeah.
True. And do you find that a lot of the artists that work like within the space of this gallery, like are they able to do it full time?
Even artists who have reached a fairly high price point often are not able to do it full time.
Really?
Because if you think about it, you know, they might have a solo once or maybe twice a year.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying all, like some, you know, and then, you know, some artists obviously manage full time, depending on the health of, you know, other markets, like maybe their print market or whatever. And then, you know, they might make a lot of money for those shows.
Yeah.
But then if you even that out to an annual wage, like for a whole year, it still doesn't equal what another job might equal with the way, you know, it's life is expensive. So a lot of people teach, a lot of people have other jobs.
Yeah.
In America, a lot of the artists that we show also work in the film industry doing
so they're able to stay creative, but they do other things within that
have creative jobs that relate to their art and maybe even benefit the profile of their art as well.
But here it's not, from what I've seen personally, and I might be wrong, like it's not the same, right? Like it's not that easy to transition between like one media like circle to another. Like if you
we don't have Hollywood.
No. What do we have?
And we don't have the kind of wealth that they have in America either.
No. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the art budget was, but I can't even recall. Like how much money goes into the arts here?
Don't know.
But obviously nothing compared to the US.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they've got such a big population.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're talking about when you've got that bigger population, there's a lot more people to support it. A lot more. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
You spent like a lot of time over in LA as well.
Yeah.
And what made you go there and what made you come back?
Well, I never lived there. I used to curate shows remotely and then travel to attend the shows.
That's pretty awesome, right?
So
You
everything
save
I
so
did-
much on accommodation. You just like set it
So
up.
I was in Brunswick the whole time.
Really?
Living in Brunswick, yeah.
And so you just go there for like a week.
Yeah, a few weeks sometimes.
Cool.
And I guess I stopped doing that when I opened my own gallery, just because it's just a lot, you know.
Yeah.
And also because, I don't know, I've sort of been, I don't want to say anything too political, but I sort of just wanted to avoid the whole Trump thing, I guess.
Really? Oh, this is like just before he came.
Like, I mean, I don't know, like everything just seems a little, it feels like they're sort of, I mean, look, I'm not going to say anything about Trump or whatever, but it
He's
feels
not in the room. You can say whatever you like.
Well, the thing is, I don't want to, I try not to be political, you know, because I don't want to sort of connect my gallery to any kind of whatever on that. But,
sure.
But I guess everything's feeling quite dystopian over there.
Yeah, well, at the moment
dangerous
it definitely is.
and has been more so. And I do want to go back and visit all my friends and whatnot, but it's just kind of, I don't know.
Not yet.
This is a good place to be.
I watched a movie called Civil War, and it looked,
Yeah.
it was pretty brutal. And it kind of seemed like, hopefully that's not happening over there right now.
It's possible, yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
In terms of just, I guess, that kind of like, I guess, apolitical approach to art, or as much as you can, is that something that you kind of like try to make sure when you have in the gallery that like,
I mean, I have my own views,
in?
but I don't want them to influence how people feel about my gallery or the artists that we show.
For sure.
Because I'm not like someone who's going to cancel or ostracize someone based on if they feel like they support someone who I don't support or whatever.
But in
And
terms
I think
of what
the
you
world's kind of
like,
become a bit like that, and I don't want to.
based off like one's political views, like just like
Yeah, like there are certain artists who, you know, became during the time, like back in the day, you know, when the whole, I guess America was dividing into more extreme, in more of an extreme way. There were certain artists who were quite vocal about being Trump supporters.
Yeah.
And they were just cancelled thoroughly from the art world.
For sure.
I
It
don't know
happened
if
in the
that's
music world as well.
I don't know if that's still the case. Things feel a little different now. It's like, feels like Trump's maybe a little bit more popular now, which is interesting.
I don't know any examples in the fine art world, but I know, for example, the musician Ariel Pink like stated that he was like a fan of the marching, the thing that we were talking about with the guy with the horns and all that shit.
Yeah.
He was like pro-Trump and that fully cancelled his career.
Yeah.
Fully cancelled his career. Like he still makes music, but not at the same level.
And I think you know, it's potentially a lot of, and I don't think that people who think differently to me are, you know, I don't know, I think they've just been, you know, they've been subject to different kinds of, you know, news outlets, you know, something that I might view as misinformation, but they probably view what I'm consuming as misinformation, you know, and whatever.
Yeah.
But I guess what I'm saying is I don't want to turn off any collectors that are you know, potentially on that side of the political space. I don't want to turn off any artists. I just don't want to, you know what I mean? Like they're just all people, and I want to do what's in the best interest of the artists and cast a wide net.
For sure. And there's also that
I can talk to
like,
people privately about how I feel.
Yeah, but you need to like, I say. And I guess like there is also that like whimsical aspect, the escapism kind of aspect of all this stuff. Like,
and I'm not saying I'm that pro the other side either. I'm just like, you know, I just don't want to. I mean, I've obviously made my views a little bit clear, but
yeah. But I mean, that's cool though. Like wanting to create that like barrier, because you turn on your phone and you turn on the news and it's always in your face, and it's just like it is nice. I assume that a lot of people who like this kind of work are coming here to get away from that.
Yeah,
and so the fact that you're curating an environment that is like that is quite nice.
I think it kind of makes sense for maybe a street art gallery to be a little more political, because often
like
street art is quite political.
Yeah,
you know, like a lot of the artists might be very political, and that's kind of where it's coming from. But I don't think that's the space that I'm occupying is really like that.
Yeah. What kind of like older like artists were you influenced by? Both as like a painter and just in general with your taste?
When I was young, I was fairly obsessed with MC Escher.
Of course.
What's his name? Archamboldo, who did the sort of portraits made of flowers, and he's really old. I think his name's Giuseppe Arcimboldo.
I've never heard of
He did
Giuseppe.
there were like portraits made of fruit and flowers.
Yeah, right.
Like sort of human heads made of fruit and flowers. Yeah.
Cool.
I loved that stuff. I also loved Robert Crumb.
Oh, of course.
I was obsessed with a lot of underground comic art.
Yeah, we just had like an underground comic person on the show as well. A guy called Johnny Ryan. Big fan of Robert Crumb's. Similar style too.
Think of who that is.
Yeah.
I know.
Very like intense, like, you know, very cancelable comics, you know?
I kind of come from that, like, in a way, like my interest in art was very, I liked really, really dark, politically incorrect art and underground comic art. That's kind of where I came from when I was
cool.
young.
You can actually, now that you say that, you can definitely see that.
Yeah.
You know?
But I'm no longer into things that are just shocking. Like, I want them to be clever as well. Like,
Although we were talking about it with Johnny, like there is an art to being edgy, you know, as opposed to being just like an edgy, like an edgelord person just trying to provoke. Like there is an art to people who can do it well. Yeah. But it's very hard to know what exactly that like defining quality is.
It's hard,
you can tell when you see it.
I think so, but that's changed a lot, and there's a lot. You know, this cancel culture is pretty full on these days. So
yeah, well, yeah.
I'm not going to say what I like. I'm like,
no. I mean, he talked about his Instagram, like losing his Instagram, you know, the first time around, based off of what he could and couldn't do.
Yeah.
With a gallery, I guess there is that same effect that we were talking about before, where it's like if somebody doesn't buy it, you know, it directly affects the work. If the buyer is like, you know, if the buyer cancels an artist, basically.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
but it's nice that it's like a real world thing.
I think it's a shame that people's personal views have become inseparable from the appreciation of the art. I think that's a real shame.
Yeah, I wonder if that's ever going to change for the better, but it might.
I think people are getting sick of it.
Yeah.
I'm not into cancel culture.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people are.
Seems like a lot of people are. I have no idea. Yeah.
I think within reason, but I think like, the art is very different to the person.
I think it's good that we've progress to a point where we're questioning certain things and saying certain things are not okay.
Yeah.
But I think we need a space where people can then go say sorry or whatever, and actually kind of, you know, if they really have done something in the past that's not great, maybe they can come back from that. And maybe we shouldn't. I don't like the revisionism of it as well. Like how, like, I don't know, certain, you know, books are not allowed now, and certain, you know, Disney films are like being sort of, I don't know, bits are being edited out, and it's just like, why don't we have like a caption at the start saying this is like from a certain era,
just kind of depicting it as like an archival thing,
sort of no longer socially acceptable, but this is in here kind of thing.
Because I also think like there's one thing of like what people do, and that's a whole thing, but in terms of what you depict with your art, that's a whole different world.
That used to be okay.
Like that's its own world.
Used to be okay.
Yeah. Like people might think that you're like a sick person for what you make, but I mean, people could think that with anything that you do. Really, it doesn't have to be a grotesque thing.
I feel
a concept.
I used to love a lot of, I still do love a lot of like stand-up comedians who say some terrible things. And that used to be okay.
Yeah.
And
we also had one on the show recently as well.
Really?
That's the last two people we had, a stand-up comedian and a like cartoonist.
I think that, I mean, I think visual artists get away with a lot more than stand-up comedians at this stage.
Well, you can kind of separate it a little bit more, because if it's like an artwork, if it's a performance
maybe
piece,
more people just don't know about it. It's like they're just a bit more obscure.
Probably. But
stand-up
I also think
comedians are like pretty well known usually.
Well, stand-up comedy for me is kind of like it is a performative art, but in terms of like a performance, like a Marina Abramovic kind of thing, you don't really separate either of the two. Like what they're doing is like, it's like if you're a vocalist, your instrument is your voice. If you're out there saying something, people are more intent to think that that's like who you are directly. Whereas like if it's a painting or a portrait or something, people can kind of subconsciously,
a bit more separated.
They can separate and go, well, this was something that you created, but it's not exactly a part of you. It's not, you know, this you like a fused part of yourself. But people should really, that's why I think studying art, conceptual art is important, if not for anything else, just to kind of make that distinction. Yeah. Because people are quite like, I don't want to use the word Neanderthalic, but people can be quite prehistoric in that, you know?
Yeah.
In how they analyze art. And people getting offended, like try talking to like an older family member about art now, it's still really hard, you know? People are still, true. For me at least, but I'm sure these guys have some hip family members.
I feel like we've taken a deep dive into some subject matter that maybe we should pull back a little bit.
We should pull back. Well, I was just going to sort of close off just by asking, like, what kind of what can people expect from your galleries coming up for 2025?
Well,
what kind of works?
Like we have we have a new show or group of shows every month. So a lot. There's just like, I guess every month there's anywhere from 1 to 4 exhibitions because we have sort of separate spaces downstairs.
Awesome.
You know, and we tend to show, you know, it's all on our website. It's kind of hard to
check out the website.
We do have like something that I'm excited about coming up that's a bit different. Like we have this kind of custom toy art and small sculpture show where a lot of people are just sort of making lots of sort of weird little sculptures and customizing toys, and that's a bit different to anything that we've done. Cool. And it's sort of bringing in a whole different group of artists that we've never shown before.
And that's a group show, or is that like anyone can come in and make their toys basically?
It's a group show. I've invited the artists.
Cool.
Yeah, so I curate. But there's a lot of artists and I'm really excited about it. It's like in March, I think. If you look at our website, I think I've already published the entire year of shows, and there's a lot of amazing things like sort of weird, surreal, imaginative, dark, light, dreamlike, nightmarish.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And do you think are there any workshops as well that you guys ever do?
No, that sort of we used to a long time ago, but that sort of hasn't. Yeah, we just haven't found the time or space to do that recently.
For sure, that would be cool though.
Yeah.
Kind of integrate like the real up and comers, like the people who haven't even like started drawing yet.
Yeah.
Even like a life drawing thing, because I've done some life drawings.
We did that too. We used to host Dr. Sketchies in Melbourne.
Ah, true.
Which was like when that was still running in Melbourne. That's like an international burlesque sort of life drawing thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Because I went to one that was like fantasy based recently. So you like drew like a fantasy model.
Yeah.
And that was cool as well. That definitely would have gone like, I think, in a similar kind of vibe here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm so into this stuff, you know. I want to sort of tell you what's coming up, but there's too much of it is exciting. I don't want to leave any of it out.
For sure.
It's all good.
Well, yeah, I think the dog actually is
she wants to
he's
get
telling
up.
us to wrap it up.
Yeah.
But thank you, Jon Beinart, for coming on the show. And yeah, check out the website, the Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram's a good place. The website is Beinart.org, Beinart.org.
Yeah.
Or the Instagram is Beinart Gallery. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Shaun.
Cool. Thank you.